In this lesson, I'll show you how to sketch the graphs of exponential functions using transformations. The question reads, use transformations to sketch the graph of the function f of x is equal to negative 2 raised to the power of x plus 1 plus 3. Before we start doing this, I want to show you what the generic function f of x is equal to b to the power of x looks like. Now, depending on the value of b, the direction of your function will differ. Notice that when b is greater than 1, it goes up to the right, and when b is between 0 and 1, it exponentially decays down to the right. So let's keep that in mind as we perform our sketch. As you can see in the graph that I have here, I've drawn out what f of x is equal to 2 to the power of x looks like. And the way you can find this on your own without a pre-rendered graph like this is simply substitute some values into the function. Substitute x is equal to 0, x is equal 1, and negative 1. And you should get something that looks like that. Next, I want to consider the exponent. We have x plus 1. The plus 1 here will shift everything that you see 1 unit to the left. So if it's plus 1, it's to the left, and if it's negative 1, it's to the right. So let's take some points, some reference points, that one, that, and we'll shift each of these once to the left. So I have a point right here, and over here. Now, using a smooth curve, we'll model what we had earlier. My next transformation will be this negative that's at the front. What this will do is it will reflect the graph about the x-axis. So if this point right here is, let's say, negative 1 and 1, and this new point is at 0 and 2, and this point, well, we know it's negative 2 and 0.5. To get the reflection about the x-axis, we change the y-coordinate of each of these points, where if it's positive, it becomes negative, and vice versa. So this point should become 0 and negative 2. This point becomes negative 1 and negative 1. And this becomes negative 2 and negative 0.5. And that will be right here. Now, once again, we will sketch this as if it's a reflection of the other. Finally, this plus 3 tells us that we have to vertically shift every point 3 upwards. If it's plus, it goes up, and if it's negative, it goes down. So this point, for example, which is at negative 1 and negative 1, now becomes negative 1 and positive 2. So negative 1 and positive 2 is right there. This goes up here, and that goes up here. So we have a new sketch that looks like this. Notice that I've respected the horizontal asymptote that remained throughout the process. So there you have it. That is how to sketch the graphs of exponential functions using transformations. Make sure that you start with the exponents, then the negative if one exists at the very front, and the number that is being added or subtracted to it at the very end.